You're listening to Sports and More with Chris and Thom.
Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss the intro?
No.
Did I miss the intro?
No, you're on time. You're perfectly on time.
All right. Welcome back. It's the guys with the faces for radio and the voices for a silent movie.
This is Sports and More with Chris and Thom. I am Chris.
And I am Thom, and I am sorry that I am late. I'm not late. Am I late?
No, you're on time. You're on time, sir. We're actually right on schedule.
All right. We're good. All right. I'm Thom, and I am not late. Wow. All right. Well, we're going to get this show started. Catching my breath.
It's a little further than you expected to there, sir.
Having a what was that? What was that?
It's a little further than you expected to slide.
Little bit. I got a wall about 3.5 feet here from me. I thought I was gonna run into it. Rolly chairs, am I right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got quite the show for you tonight. But I want to start off the show by giving a quick shout out to all the deer hunters out there. I know the past couple of months we've had bow season open, but coming up this Friday is opening season for gun season for Illinois, and then Saturday opens for Wisconsin. So to all you deer hunters out there, good luck and shoot straight.
Absolutely. Shoot straight. Shoot the deer. Don't be a Dick Cheney. Sorry I had to throw that out there for all of you out there who know that joke, but or sad instance.
I'm really looking forward to this season, man. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going to say I got a good feeling because I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm looking forward to having a good time.
Absolutely. And like Thom said, we're going to have some fun with the show. We've had some heavy topics lately, so we're going to start with some fun and talk about why ties are stupid in professional sports, because the Loins tied with the Steelers last night in a 16-16 game, which means the Loins, who are still winless, cannot go 0-17. They can go 0-16-1.
And that is ultimately why we wanted to do this topic. Is we're halfway through the season. We wanted to see an 0-17 Lions. We thought that it was possible. This was going to be the unperfect season, and I know unperfect is not a word, and that's why I use
That's why it's a good word.
Unperfect season, but now it's tainted by a tie, which should not happen in professional sports. Tell me I'm wrong. At me on this. I don't care.
At me as well.
Ties should not happen in professional sports. If you're tying, you're playing Little League.
Hey, if you're tying...
This is like JFL stuff.
If you're tying, both teams have lost. That's how I view it.
You know what? That's what it should be. Yeah. That's what it should be. In pro sports, especially in the NFL, because they did this whole tie thing, limited overtime because of time constraints or whatever.
Kick field goals, gosh darn it. Figure out a way.
Field goal, whatever. If it ends in a tie, it should be 2 losses. Because you didn't win.
Right.
We're not going to do ties no more. It should just go against both of you. This is going to show the league that they should go back to the old ways of just letting them play it out. Not a time, just multiple overtimes. I mean, you look at was it Illinois and I'm trying to remember who that was that they just played, had like 9 overtimes. U of I, Michigan State.
I can't remember. I'm not the hang on, I'll look it up. I'm not the college football buff. That's your department on this show. Sorry.
That's all right. You keep going on this. I'll look it up here.
Yeah. So my thought is that they could use the XFL version, which is you get 5 tries from the 5-yard line, and whoever scores the most points wins at that point in time, which is a good option as opposed to the college situation. But go ahead, sir.
Sorry, Penn State. Penn State. Sorry, I had to. Yeah. I knew it was a state. I just had to get it out there. But I think you're right. There should be multiple attempts and not just a time constraint, because you really, one team could have. Is going to have, more likely than not, more time with the ball than the other. If you go with like the college rules and how the NFL used to be, is where you started on a certain yard line or you kicked off even. I like the old NFL rule where you kicked off. There's still that. element to the game.
Right.
And you could still have the first to, score a touchdown wins the game. But this whole like it's an extra short quarter, and if nothing happens, then it's over. I mean, I don't like that because you're one team could just run out the clock and then kick a field goal. It's nothing exciting about that. If you go back to the old ways of allowing both teams to have the ball, there's strategy involved. It's more exciting, and both teams can have a chance to make some big plays. I mean, you get someone scores a touchdown in the first overtime, then you got to come back and score a 2-point conversion and win the game. And if you're the second team to get the ball, it's like there's those things that you don't get now with overtimes. It's a game of cat and mouse. You're essentially playing not to lose,
right,
instead of playing to win. I don't like that because it also it's encouraging just like this participation trophy mindset, because you're playing not to lose, because then you have a loss in your record. A tie doesn't necessarily go against you in the same way that a loss would, and so you're playing it safe instead of going for the win, which is how it always has been. So I never have liked this tie concept.
No, I don't like it
in
either.
Pro sports at all.
I don't like it either, which is why baseball is the only real sport, because there are no ties in baseball. The game goes until it's over with. If it lasts 3 days, so be it. This game is going to go until we have a winner.
Amen. Yeah. Yes. And we're not even going to talk about soccer because you and I don't talk about soccer.
Grass fairies.
So, I mean...
Shots fired.
You said the quiet part.
Out loud.
Out loud.
At
anyway,
me, soccer stars. Come at me.
That would be. I was gonna give your whole name there and everything. No, that's You got a good point though. Like a game like baseball, you can't run out the clock. You got to play it to the end, to the last inning, to the last strike, to the last out. Even in basketball, there's the opportunity to run out the clock.
Yeah.
So honestly, and this is not where we're going to make this segment go about talking about baseball superiority, but I mean in talking about football, you want to have winners and losers. That's the purpose of playing the game. You play to win the game. I mean, so why are we talking about ties? Why are we bringing ties into this calculation of standings throughout the year anyway? Because I mean, you could then have the 0-8-1 Lions. I mean, let's say that loss was to someone who's higher up in the division. Let's say it was to the Packers. Mm-hmm. Now you've got a loss or a tie in the evil green and yellow teams category, and they're at the top of the division. I know that's not a great one because there's quite a separation between 1 and 2 in the North. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. Like, why are we putting ties where there shouldn't be? This is not. We should not have ties in professional sports. Okay, I don't like it.
No, don't.
And this is not intended to be like a Thom's, super reaction to ties. But I mean, why are we even talking about ties in pro sports? You don't think guys signed their lives away and made these big multi-million-dollar contracts to go out there and tie and both get the little tiny participation trophy? Yay, we got through the game sort of a achievement. That's not what this is about. This is about winning championships. You can't win championships by tying.
You play to win the game.
Amen.
Hello.
So, all right. There's my tirade.
All right.
I've said all that I can at this point, man.
It.
Like,
so
honestly, I'm just pissed.
Yeah.
At what football has become.
Yep. So,
and this is setting aside all the things that happened with refs and whatnot about a week ago. We're not even going to touch that.
Not going to touch
because so many others already have, and it's kind of exposing some long existing conspiracy theories. But none of that affected the possibility of a tie.
Right.
Like I would rather have the Bears lose a game than tie. Personally, okay. And I know that we're Bears fans, and a tie looks better for us on paper. But as a sports fan, I don't like ties. I would rather us lose 3 games than tie 1.
Well,
That's just me.
I read out the loss so that Nagy and Pace get fired, so that's why I want the losses. But that's just me over here.
That's true. You know, there's the ulterior motive.
Yeah. So that going off of the Thom hot take as of ties and sports, we're gonna go into NFL standings, and we're gonna give you guys a quick update as you probably see on the ticker screen. Of the games back for the entire NFL. You have the evil green and yellow team, as Tom alluded to, at a 3.5 game lead over the Vikings. That division is over with. We're going to call it a day. In the NFC South, the Bucks have a 1-game lead over the Saints because the Bucks lost to Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team this past weekend. And everyone's complaining about the Bucks, and I keep trying to tell people, RELAX, relax. This isn't the postseason yet. Wait till the playoffs. That's when they come alive because Brady is always going to get the team ready for the playoffs. Just calm down. In the NFC East, the Cowboys have a 3.5 game lead over the Eagles. That division is over. Cowboys have won the division. I don't care if there's a statistical chance for the Eagles to win it. It's over. Called a day. In the NFC West, you have the Cardinals with a half-game lead over the Rams. Rams will play the Niners tonight. If the Rams win, it will still be the Cardinals' division because they beat the Rams earlier this season, but they would be an essential tie. It's just Cardinals will have the tie-breaking edge over the Rams. In the AFC North, the Ravens hold a 0.75 game lead, is it, over the Steelers? Because Steelers are 5-3 with a tie. So is it a 0.25 game lead or a 0.57 game lead? I don't know at this point. It's hard to tell because it would be a half game, but the tie is like a 0.25 game. It's hard to tell in this case.
All I know is our notes just got a little bit more confusing to make because you had to add a column to every team for a tie. And just so that you could put a 1 by the Steelers and the Lions.
I mean,
I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute. It's no longer just win-loss percentage. You got to add in the ties now. It's unnecessary.
I've had the ties in there for the long point. It's always been 0-0-0. So no one cares. But now that we have a tie,
it's easy. No
it's like, this is ugly. It makes it a lot harder to work with.
You had the tie column in there before?
Yeah, I just left that 0.
See, I didn't even notice because there was nothing in there.
Yeah, I left that 0 because...
As it should be.
Yeah, there's no ties. And then in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans, the best team in the AFC at 8-2 with a 3-game lead over the Colts, who are red hot, who are probably going to be making the playoffs at this point in time. Although they're going to have to really work through a couple of other teams, but they have a good chance with the way they're playing right now. In the AFC East, the Bills have a half-game lead over the Patriots thanks to a shellacking of the New York Jets, who still do not have a quarterback, who make the Bears look competent in that regards because we think we have a quarterback at least in Justin Fields. I'm not saying we do. I'm not saying we don't. But it looks like we have a quarterback, and I'm pretty happy about that. In the AFC West, the Chiefs are now in first place. Again, after they absolutely obliterated the Raiders. Again, this is playing to the theory that the picker is an idiot in our Game of the Week pick. So that's all we can say about that at this point. Because we both were like, I don't know, Chiefs or Raiders. And then the Chiefs said, we are the Chiefs. Game over, son. And they show up to play football like we expect them to this entire season.
They showed up as the chief football officers, the CFOs of that game last week, man.
It was like that was the team we thought we were getting when the season started. They finally decided to show up.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't play Mahomes in fantasy, and he scored 111 freaking points.
Oh no!
I'm gonna lose to Jawa's mom.
If it makes you funny, but I've given up.
That's who I'm playing this week. I'm down like 100 and something points. And he would have gotten me within about like 20 points.
And it makes you
just with that. I'm like,
it makes you feel like, but I've given up.
You're putting up like 70s the entire season, and you go off and do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I understand your pain. It's a frustrating circumstance when you say, okay, he's not playing well. I'm gonna bench him. And now he does show up and has his best game of the season.
That just happens to me a lot. Historically, when I've done fantasy football leagues, that's always what happens. The guy that's like red hot, I'll start him, and he's just having an off week. And the guy who's been sucking, I bench him, and then he scores like 40 points.
Yeah.
Like, what? Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, those are your standings.
Thanks for the rundown, man. Yeah, that's
bottom of the screen. So going.
Bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
I don't even know what direction to do, but I'm going to do it here.
Yeah, hey, just keep going. It's going. It's just going to keep going while we talk.
It's going. It's going while we talk. I
can
do this the entire show. Oh,
there you go. That way. There you go. That's the way it's scrolling. There you go.
All right. Well, enough of the shenanigans on screen. We're going to talk about some other folks who have been on screen for some time. We wanted to, after having several tough
Oh,
topics
yeah.
over the past couple of weeks, I mean, we've had some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
We decided to have a lighter topic this episode. And so Chris and I are going to give our top 5 game show hosts of all time. And now, Chris, uh, just from the conversations that we've had before, sounds like you've watched more game shows
Probably.
than me. I've watched like a select few a lot
Yeah.
of times, but so how do we want to do this? We want to do like top 5 and an honorable mention, or do like what? I got a list here, but I don't know how you want to get this thing rolling.
Okay, so to be fair, I saw like game shows going through chemotherapy, and you're sitting in a hospital during the morning hours. All there are game shows to watch, so that's why I know a lot of game shows. I got stuck watching them for 4 hours on end, so I know a lot of the game show hosts. So I had the top 5 and honorable mention because there's one person I wanted to put on my list who I just couldn't because I just didn't see him enough as a full show and just see the highlights, which are fantastic. So if you want me to start, I can start and kick it off for you and do my honorable mention and then my number 5. That way we can get going with the segment.
Oh, you're going to do your honorable mention and then number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
go ahead.
All right, so honorable mention is Richard Dawson, the original game host of Family Feud from 1976 to 1985 and 94 to 95. He was hysterical. It was a more subtle Steve Harvey-esque performance where he would make fun of you, but it wasn't like he would poke fun of you like you're ignorant or something, unless it was blatantly obvious, like when in a Fast Money sequence where he said name an animal with 3 letters in his name, and the guy said alligator. It's one of the greatest quotes of all time. He goes, name an animal with 3 letters in name, and you said alligator. This long drawn out, like pointing out how stupid the answer was.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, and I thought
That's
frog,
fantastic.
and I thought frog was a disastrous answer until you came up with alligator.
You gotta love it when hosts just can rib their contestants like that and so effortlessly.
Oh yeah. Another one was name the month when a woman appeared pregnant, and the woman said September.
It obviously meant like the number.
Yeah. He
like
started dying. He couldn't.
Third month or fourth month. It was like, oh my gosh.
It took him 10 minutes to regain his composure. He was just dying. So
I remember that when you and I in the dorm, we used to watch like funniest Family Feud moments of all time, and that was always one that popped up.
Yeah, it's a brilliant moment. So
the alligator one too, but
So my number 5 one, which is gonna be a shocker for some people because they would probably have him higher on the list, but I didn't watch the show as often, so I have him down on the list because I just didn't watch the show as often. It's Pat Sajak of Wheel of Fortune, 1981 to present.
All right, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just go ahead and say Pat Sajak is my number 5 too?
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. There we go.
Like no joke. He's the exact same place.
But
like the
he's
Pat Sajak,
good, but I don't watch him enough times to give him a higher listing for me. That's my problem.
Right, and I didn't really watch like Wheel of Fortune all that often, but like he's a very solid host. But for me, like, well, I went the Sajak and Vanna White combo.
Yeah, that combo.
Because like no matter what, you go one of these.
Yeah.
You're doing the Vanna. Like that's the whole thing. Like that's timeless. And so that was it for me. But go ahead, continue with what you were saying. I was just excited. Like we got one that was exactly the same.
No, I would agree. I didn't put Vanna White in there, but I dang sure should have. But she's probably the most recognizable co-host of a show because she's been doing it for about as long as Sajak has been doing the host. I don't know if it's as long, but it's dang near close to where they've been a duo for like 30 plus years. And she actually hosted the show when he was out due to illness. So I was like, it's kind of that they're the duo, but I didn't watch it as often, or I didn't think he was as funny as he could have been with the moments at hand.
True. Some of those ones, and we've seen some like bad answer compilations from
a group of pill pushers.
He just like he had.
This is Wheel of Fortune, Joe.
He had so many opportunities to just like really snap back with a comeback or a one-liner, and sometimes he was just a little bit too composed, just kind of like
too passive with it. I want more of these.
Just kind of like looking around, like looking for the producer to what do I say?
Beat him over the head with the stupidity. Beat him over the head with the stupidity. Do that, and it'll be gold.
Right. So yeah, that was kind of why I had Sajak down there. Is like he's he had those moments where like he had some funny times, but all in all, he's just like solid host, and um, still captivating in the sense, but like um, not really super funny.
Right.
Compared to others that we've seen and probably will show on our list. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead with my honorable mention. Then since we had the same number 5,
go ahead.
And one that I don't have a lot of experience, much like yours, and that's kind of why he's an honorable mention. But Bob Eubanks,
Okay.
Being the host of the Newlywed Game.
Yes.
I want to say some others, but
that's the main.
How I know him from the Newlywed Game is because of like the hilarious videos we would watch of like bad answers and hilarious answers and things like that, and just he was another one, just like you would say, like was it Richard Dawson?
Yeah,
who would kind of not as dramatic as and kind of acting all reactive as some other hosts, but he would just really go along with the contestants and follow their lead. If they said something stupid, he's gonna
keep going,
eat that up. So that's what I liked is and the Newlywed Game in itself is hilarious, and he just had that energy that really just matched the show in itself. So, and I know that he's another one that's just timeless, and I think he went back to the 60s or 70s is when he was starting to host. He was one of the original game show hosts, or at least recognizable ones, when that started to become a thing. So that was really, really cool to see some of that, just very, very little, scratching the surface of what his career was. But I mean, even just a little bit of experience that I have, just great host. He might
consider like the gold standard of host. Like this is the standard you should meet if you want to be a good game show. It should be hit that Bob Eubanks mark. If you go above it, you're at a whole nother level. But if you get to that point, you've done your job as a game show host. If you hit Bob Eubanks, because
absolutely,
it's perfectly fun to watch. He's hysterical, but he's not over the top. So if you
exactly, that's what I was trying to get at. Is like, there's the host that they go a little bit over the top, and that's good. That makes for good TV. But he just wasn't that. He was just did his job and had those quips that really came back at the right moment. And it was all just like timing for him. It's like he had the right timing for the one-liner that really caught you.
Yep. All right, so you want me to go number 4 because we had the same number 5? All right, so number 4. This is going to shock people because he was only a host for, I believe it was 3 years. I have Regis Philbin of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And because that's a show I used to watch all the time, so I've heard Regis Philbin just mock people for their stupidity or wait to say a final answer and make people think about it. I think there's this one timeless one where the guy's like, he gives a final answer and Regis Philbin just delays, and the guy goes, "I'm fat man, Regis, my heart can't take this." And Regis just sits back there and waits for it and says, "I should help you lose a few pounds."
That's the moment that stuck out in my mind with him too. Is like one of the funnier times.
Yeah, so he is great with them when they make
just the way that he said million.
Yeah, and you just wait
he
for
it. Be a millionaire.
He wait for when they hit you with the good one, or he'd be like, "Are you sure about that? I mean, are you sure that's what you want to answer with?" Is make you think about like, dude, come on, you can't be this dumb. I'm gonna help you at least get some money.
Exactly, like take the hint, buddy.
Yeah. This is not the right answer. I actually watched a guy win nothing.
This is not the right answer. I'm giving you an opportunity to say no.
I watched a guy win $0 because he got the first question wrong about blackbirds in the pie. And he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure it's not blackbirds?" He's like trying to, "Are you sure?" But he's like, no, it's this one. And it's like, dude. Man. So Regis is going to be the surprise because he only did the show for 3 years, but it was comedy gold if you're looking for that highbrow comedy, which I do enjoy sometimes.
And I know that this is gonna seem like we scripted this, but Regis Philbin was my number 4.
Oh my god!
I'm not even kidding you. Which makes me think about our top 3 are probably the same too.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this at all, guys.
No, we didn't. We just said last week, like, all right, how about something like game show host? Like, all right, sure. And then the next we talked about it. Well, no, that we didn't.
We stopped. Today. There's still today.
Like you put it on our notes for the show, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. Well, Regis, I there was a stretch of time where when it was on live, like it was on in my
Yeah.
household,
Oh, same here.
and we were those families where like at commercial breaks, if you went to the bathroom, got some food, or went and did whatever, you're yelling from the living room, "It's on!" to the guy who to like my brother or
Yeah.
my dad or mom or whoever that was out of the room to come back so that we knew like, oh no, 'cause this is before the days of you know pause
Yeah.
live TV and
Right.
all that fun stuff on demand. You actually had to like leap over the furniture and do a superhero move just to get back in front
Yeah.
of the screen in time. So that's kind of like just a memory for me. But like I think one of the the funniest just like are you serious faces from Regis was that one guy that knew the answer to the
Yeah.
$1 million
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
and called his
Yeah.
dad as a lifeline, and he goes, uh, Dad, yeah, I don't need your help. I just wanted to tell you I'm going to win the $1 million. And Regis is just kind of
All right, here we go.
like, okay, all right.
Just
And
smirking. Like,
he's like,
okay,
you just won $1 million.
yeah,
Yeah.
I say you're playing this.
So, right, exactly. But and I think Regis is also a Notre Dame grad, so
Okay,
another reason for me to like him.
that helps. That
Um,
helps.
and on many occasions has been seen at Notre Dame basketball games. So like, a little bit of a reason for me to
Yeah.
like him there. But all right, I feel like I should go with my number three.
Go ahead.
But I want to see like if we're gonna do this back and forth thing. Why don't you just go ahead and keep leading us?
Okay, number
Because
three.
then it's just gonna look. Yeah.
I have a good idea that my number three is not your number three. Based on what I know about you and your watching habits of game shows, my number three is going to probably be your number one, and that's Alex Trebek of Jeopardy, who hosted the show from 1984 to 2020. Alex Trebek is three because I did not watch Jeopardy as much as you would think. I actually watched it less than watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I didn't watch Jeopardy as much until I started rooming with you. So that's why Trebek's three. Mm-hmm. I recognize him as better than Regis Philbin, obviously. But he's number three because he's not the show I watch as often. So it's more of a, like Pat Sajak, he probably would be higher, but it's more of those things that I didn't watch as often. And I don't think Sajak is as funny as Trebek was with his like quick back at you. Like, oh no, it was actually this one. Like you're such a dolt for missing this question.
That's a good one though. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I am surprised that he's your number three, but it makes sense. I mean, you like who you watch the most, and right. I mean, if you're not watching Jeopardy the most, then yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna fall down the list. My number three, this is tough, man. This is tough. I'm gonna go Bob Barker.
Oh, Price is Right.
Price is Right.
I didn't really watch that show, so I can't grade him. That's my problem.
Oh man.
Yeah.
During the summer, like if it was a rainy day or whatever, we weren't out able to go out and do anything. Like we're watching TV, and during the day they put stuff on for old people, and so you get all the AARP and arthritis commercials and Price is Right, and just he had probably like 87 facelifts, but I mean the guy was at the same time like also just a timeless character, because he well respected across the board. That's why so many people wanted to go to the shows all the time. Most of the time was just for him. And I don't know, it just the whole way that he carried himself was just great. He'd have comebacks himself. He'd kind of also be like that, oh no, you lost the prize, but kind of that subtle like, yes, we don't have to pay out another prize. But also the whole tagline that he had, have your pet spayed or neutered, like that's just, it's so off the wall. It's like it just sticks with you. Doesn't Drew Carey now say that on Price is Right? Because he carried that on, that legacy sort of a thing. And let's just be honest, he will never be Bob Barker, and he knows that. Right. But he's one of those guys that like everybody knows that you're not going to replace Bob Barker. You're just going to be trying to fill in his shoes, and it's never going to be the same. You can only try to emulate him as much as possible. And that's why he's kind of my number three. Is like I watched him quite a bit, especially also during the school year with when you're sick. Like
Yeah.
you're sitting on the couch in front of the TV, just that's all you got on during the day. So I watched a lot of Price is Right, and I got pretty good at guessing prices, I will
Yeah,
say.
you see,
So
I didn't
that's
watch
it
it
for
as
me,
often,
man.
but I will say I know Bob Barker more from Happy Gilmore than I do from The Price is Right. So that's where I think Bob Barker. I think Happy Gilmore. I don't think Price is Right because that's how little I watch The Price is Right. I just think I know he's from Price is Right, but
Okay.
I think Happy Gilmore because of the scene with Adam Sandler. He knocks out Adam Sandler, which is just a
Oh
brilliant
yeah,
scene. So that's just me.
yeah.
All right.
Then he walks away.
Yeah. What a butthole.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So,
Oh man, no, I love it, man.
all right. So my number 2 is going to be a shocker to all of you, but Tom will know who this person is. It's the man who is known as the greatest game show host for a show this week on Monday afternoons. Is Ned Forrester, the Golden Boy? Yeah, of Real Unfortunate.
We're including that.
Yes.
Oh, we're including. Oh
show.
man,
It's the greatest game show on TV. It's one of the greatest game shows on TV today. And you have one of the greatest game shows, Ned Forrester, the Golden Boy. Yeah, bottle busting and just shenanigans all galore. Ned Forrester makes that list.
I didn't think we were gonna be included. I thought we meant like
It's a game show.
Right. Well, yeah,
It's a game show.
it is. Okay, you got a good point, man. I wish I would have thought of that. Absolutely, that would be on my list. I didn't even think of that one. This is why we should have talked ahead of time.
It's a thinking game.
That's a thinking man right there. That's a thinking man. Wheel Unfortunate.
I mean, yes, they have other hosts of Wheel Unfortunate, but there's no one, and I mean no one who can replace Ned Forrester, the Golden Boy. Yes, he is the 6th member of Do Perfect. He is not played by someone else. I'm keeping the kayfabe real, people. That's a wrestling term for those who know.
7th, you forget about Panda.
Oh, I forgot about Panda. He's never shown anymore, so I forget about Panda. It's kind of disappointing.
I heard that if you like joined as a member of Dude Perfect and paid like the monthly subscription, they revealed Panda to you in like their exclusive.
I don't want to know who Panda is. I don't care. I do not care.
No, there's that level of like mystery that you want to keep to it. And there's actually a couple of early on videos where like they blur out or black out his head because the panda head comes off. Like, I don't want to know. But yeah, you're right.
You're talking to the guy who's an Undertaker fan who didn't want to hear the Undertaker speak outside of being the Undertaker until he retired. So that's how I go with those things. So that's why I'm going to keep the kayfabe in wrestling terms, keeping the non-real real for as long as possible. As Ned Forrester is his own person. He is not portrayed by someone else on the show.
Agreed. Man, I wish I had thought about it because I loved Wheel Unfortunate on the Dude Perfect overtimes. Yeah. Like that's the best part for me. Cool Not Cool is all right. There's different other ones, but like when they don't, then they haven't had Wheel Unfortunate on a couple of ones or at least one.
3 of them.
They didn't do it.
No, my bad. Yeah. It was. It might have been 1 or 2, but it's like 4 episodes where it wasn't Ned Forrester. My bad. I was confusing my statistics.
Right. Yeah. There's been quite a few where it's not Ned, but like there have been at least 1 or 2 where they didn't have Wheel Unfortunate at all, and it felt wrong.
No,
it felt wrong.
It's like like missing Cool Not Cool. The same problem. You had to have those 2 pillars of the show.
Oh, yeah. You have to have the establishment ones. Like those are the institutions. Yeah. You got to have Cool Not Cool and Wheel Unfortunate, and then 2 other things.
Everything else revolves around those 2.
Like Absurd Records and Get Crafty or something like that. You got to have 2 other ones. Yeah. But all right. Quick sidebar. Yeah. We were at, and that's where this hat comes from. Yeah. We were at the Bass Pro Shops. Headquarters? Yeah.
Where our main store, whichever, I can't remember.
The original site in Springfield, Missouri, where the pumpkin carving episode of Get Crafty on the Dude Perfect Overtime. And man, I wish I would have remembered the number of that overtime that was. We'll include a link in the description below to that video. But we were at the site that they did the entire overtime episode, and so they Get Crafty with the pumpkins last year and all that. That they showed the alligator gar and all those huge fish and everything.
I think it's 18.
That was 18. Because it was about a year ago.
It was 18 or 19.
It was a year ago.
Because they did 4 in December. So 20, 21, 22, and 23, I think, were all in December. I think it's 18 or 19. Don't quote me on that, people. I think it's 18, but
we'll look it up and we'll include a link below because we were there and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so and there was still a Wheel Unfortunate there, wasn't there?
I didn't see that there. If you saw that and you did not tell me, I'm going to have to yell at you for that because I did not see that there. I think I was trying to.
No. In the episode.
In the episode, yes, it was there.
Not in the store. No, they didn't have the wheel there. No, I meant in the episode.
Yeah, it was still in that episode. It was where they had put fish bait waiters on Kobe's sink bait waiters, where they just poured as much stinky stuff down his waiters as they could. Yeah.
And that's right. And they had the gar in the tank. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're definitely putting a link then to that one. Right. Okay.
So who's your number 2?
I'm mad that I didn't think. I'm mad that I didn't think about Real Unfortunate. My number 2 just seems boring now. Steve Harvey.
Oh my goodness.
And I can't believe I just said that Steve Harvey is boring, but compared to Ned Forrester, no, I'm just kidding. Steve Harvey's always got the best comebacks and the reactions. His face.
Oh yes.
Some of those like the. Like some of those where he just kind of like, and then there's sometimes where he just like walks away and like looks at his producer like, are we really like? Yeah.
They're scaring me. They're touching me. They're whispering things you cannot hear.
They're making fun of my mustache. and let's talk about that mustache. I've never seen a more beautiful mustache. No. Like he's probably got insurance on his mustache. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the few
wonderfully manicured.
Yeah, the season where he won the beards and the mustache, it felt wrong. It felt wrong watching. No,
it's not right. Yeah. It's not right. I think one of my all-time favorite reactions. I keep going. I always go back to this when you and I talk about like the best responses. There was one where it's like, name a word that follows the word pork.
Yeah,
and a guy said,
"Cupine."
He's like porcupine. He could hardly get it out. He just looks up at the screen. Yupine. I'm like, he about died from laughter. Like, that's what you want out of a host. Like real responses, not trying to be professional, not trying to keep it together. Like, no. That stuff's funny. Like I'm gonna laugh at it on stage in front of a live audience, and it's gonna make the final cut.
Absolutely.
So that and he's always got the best responses like that. And sometimes he'll just kind of like take the guy, especially when it's like the asking about we asked 100 married men something
about their wives. Yeah.
The guy says something controversial. He just kind of takes the guy by the shoulder, like your wife's right over there. Like
yeah.
So I like how real he is.
All right, so this is gonna play. So you're playing into my number 1 because my number 1 is Steve Harvey of Family Feud because that is the show I watch bar none more than anyone else. And so Thom knows that, so he's probably expecting me to go with Steve Harvey, and it's for those reasons because I watch the show so much. I watch all of his reactions so much. I just know almost all of them because I see them so often because they just make me laugh. Like my favorite one of all time is the mama question when he said, name another way you say mother. And this lady says, mama, mommy, mama, everything that's been on the board already, but trying to give a different inflection like it's a new word. And they went on for 7 takes. And he's like, we're asking you one more time. Name another way. Oh, no, heck. Name another way you say mother. He was just done with it at that point in time. Another one is where it says, if you were a chicken, what would you not want someone to do to you? And the guy listed off 3 things that were around the board: cooking me, plucking me, eating me. And Steve's like, okay. And so they had a tambourine. Steve made a song out of it with a tambourine. And it was just, it's comedy gold.
Plucking me,
yeah. Don't pluck me, cook me, eat me. Don't pluck me, cook me, eat me. It's like, it's gold. And
man.
He has so many great moments like that. It just makes me laugh. It's like, keep going with Steve Harvey. He should be the host until he's done at this point, until he can no longer be the host. Like, he is either dead or he can no longer be the host as he cannot speak. Those are the only 2 exceptions.
He's like the people's favorite.
Yeah.
He's the number 1.
Yeah.
for a lot of folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with your number one there. And you called it earlier. My number one,
Yeah.
Alex Trebek. I watched a lot of Jeopardy
Oh,
in
yeah.
college. Like just about every day of my freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch it at lunch. And then I think it was either late first semester or like all of second semester. Me and Sea Dog um, had the same like class right before lunch, and then we had the same lunch hour, the lunch
Yeah.
break before our afternoon classes. And so we'd go and grab a sandwich real quick and come back to the room and catch most of Jeopardy. And we do that. We did that pretty much all semester. And then even when he was just in the same
Yep.
dorm as me in Green, and then even when he was in the apartment, we would just like do lunch in my room every once in a while and watch Jeopardy. And it's that's kind of for me is the memories of college and doing that. But then also he had his moments where he was just hysterical.
Yeah.
And I think some of the ones are like when they ask sports questions
Yes.
to the nerds on TV, it's like, and he actually goes, "Really, guys?
Yeah.
Come on,
Like, come on, real life."
It's like, just think about this one. think about regular life. And
Yeah.
so he's great. And I think for me also just thinking about like the reasons that he's my number one is the fact that he hasn't been permanently
Right.
replaced since his passing. There have been several guest hosts or celebrity hosts or whatever. I mean, you had Aaron Rodgers, you had Mayim Bialik from
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, and among others. Even the guy from his name is escaping me, but the guy from Naperville who was in fairly recent time a long-time winner, like multi-week winner.
I know what you're talking about. Not Ken Jennings. It's this is the gambler guy.
Ken Jennings did.
Yeah,
Ken Jennings did.
He was not
host
good.
for
He was not good.
a while. No, but it's the guy who was a sports bettor.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I
Sports
just can't
bettor.
think of his name.
I cannot think of his name.
I'll look.
But anyway, he even got a chance to host. But like I think it's just a testament to how good Alex Trebek was at his job, is that they haven't found a permanent replacement. I mean, you've even thinking about Bob Barker, they fairly quickly replaced with Drew Carey. Regis, they had the follow up with the woman whose name is also escaping me, but and then with Family Feud, there have been several hosts of the show over the decades, and so I think Alex Trebek was a long-time institution of Jeopardy, and they haven't found a replacement. And I think that's just because no one can live up to the standard that he set. The shoes that you have to fill there are huge, I think what you kind of have to do almost is just have a rotation of celebrity and guest hosts, because no one is going to be this good. Aaron Rodgers apparently was pretty close, but
he was good.
He was good, but no one's going to be Alex Trebek.
Yeah. And the answer to the question was, who was James Holzhauer? Was the guy.
Thank you for answering appropriately.
You're welcome. I know how to answer Jeopardy. I know how to give the question to the answer you're looking for.
Thank you.
I know how to play Jeopardy.
We at least know how to play. Yeah. I think we have at home like for the Wii.
You guys have that game.
A Jeopardy.
Yeah,
we
played that when I lived with your parents for a few months. So I remember we played that one time.
Yeah.
Because we tried to get to the million. We tried.
Oh.
No, we tried to win the most.
No, that was we do have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, I've been thinking one.
We have Family Feud, and I think we have Jeopardy.
I think we tried to play Millionaire, see if we can get to the $1 million one. I think we never did, because we kept
we never did,
because there's one question that's like we had no knowledge of. We're like, oh, well, poop.
No. Now we're heading down there for Thanksgiving. Now I want to play that all those games when we're down there, or just like steal them, because for some reason we still have my in-laws here at my house here too. Like I kind of want to just take those 3 games and play them here.
There you
go. Anyway, there's our top 5s plus an honorable mention. So if you want to give your top 5 or give your number 1 even, just down in the comments below, or if you're listening to this and want to comment on Facebook, go ahead. There's a lot of shows that we didn't talk about. There's a lot of shows out there that we haven't even seen. So if you got one that you want to talk about, if you got a host that you think should be on this list, or is your number one, your number five, whatever, share it with us, because we like watching game shows. I think that's kind of apparent, but
Yeah.
we also know the ones that we like, and we watch a lot of it. So if you got something that we should maybe check out, let us know.
Hey, there is an incorrect answer. That's Dale Tweedley is not a correct answer to a top 5 game show host. So we're going to let you guys know.
I don't even know who Dale Tweedley is.
He was a replacement for Ned Forrester. I'm Dale Tweedley. It was the alligator guy, long hair. It's the one. It's episode 17 where Garrett.
Is Garrett?
No. It was the one where Garrett had to spin the wheel and he had dressed up as Gene Simmons.
So all right, I'm trying to think. So we got Ned Forrester.
Yep.
We got Jerry. We got
Ty when Ty was
Jim Shorts.
Yes.
Is one of the twins. Who's the other?
Kobe
Tweedley is that?
No. Dale Tweedley. It was played by Ty when Ned Forrester was on sabbatical, giving a break from the tour. Was on sabbatical from the tour. And it was just a one.
That's why it didn't come to mind. I just associate Ty with Ned.
What? Whoa!
Ned.
Whoa! Who is Ty? Is not Ned.
With Ned. Excuse me.
I mean, Dale Tweedley.
Ty's not Ned. They look alike, but it's not Ned.
Yeah, Dale Tweedley was just a random. Was done one time and one time only because he was that bad. If you want to see a bad game show, just look up that.
Understand.
Look up. I think it's OT17. I think that's what it was, but don't quote me on that one. It's a bad one. It's really bad. It's really
so bad that I didn't even remember it,
yeah.
and I watched
block it out, boys. Block it out. But enough of the game show host. Let's get into a segment we haven't had in 3 episodes. It's been since episode 9, I think, since we've had a Tom's Take. So let's hit you with that sweet, sweet intro music for Tom's Take.
Let's get serious, because this is Tom's Take.
All right, so I told Chris I wanted to have his face up on here, and maybe this is the new format for Tom's Take. Keep him down there below, and I actually can point down below because I think that's where you're going to be, right? Anyway, you know me. I'm a food guy. All right. This is not Body by Kale Salad. Okay. This is, I like bad food. And I'm trying to change that. But one thing that I discovered, and should be no secret to some people, but it's the dark horse for me that I hadn't tried. I'm going to talk about fast food breakfast. I'm not going to give my top 5 fast food breakfast or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about one. And the reason that I'm not going to talk about one is it stands above the rest. And that is Wendy's breakfast. Wendy's breakfast is the number 1 fast food breakfast out there, in my opinion. And here's my experience is why. Okay, so first of all, they got the iced coffee drinks. And normally I am not an iced coffee guy. I think it waters it down. And for Chris, he calls coffee drugs, and so it's watered down drugs. But they have they're called Frosty Chinos. And so you can get like the vanilla, it's like vanilla frosty creamer, and it tastes like a frosty, kind of like a coffee frosty, but it's good. So that right off the bat, I was like, that's a good start. But the potatoes they have like little mini potato wedges, and they're intended to be like breakfast ones, but they're seasoned like you could have them all day. And so that's for me, like, it's an all day potato. Just like my internet, it's a potato all day. And so and I can't hear you laughing, Chris, so all I can see is just a silent like throwing back of the head right now, which is hilarious. But I tried 3 different sandwiches, and I've had others since, but it's like my initial reaction to Wendy's breakfast was I tried the honey butter chicken biscuit, maple bacon chicken croissant. That was a mouthful. And then breakfast baconator. All right, so I'm going to talk about the breakfast baconator. Was probably my least favorite, and it's just because it's so rich. There's a lot going on, and I'm not saying it's like of the 3, and that's because it was just a lot. It was like really rich. Okay, I still liked it. I'd go back 9 times out of 10 and still get that. but a lot going on. You got like a cheese sauce and like you got like a yellow cheese sauce and a white cheese sauce sort of thing going on, almost like a sort of a breakfast cheese and gravy sort of thing going on the sandwich. You got bacon and you got a sausage patty on a regular bun. And so this thing is huge. And like it's almost too much for breakfast. Like I almost would rather have that for like lunch when I've kind of already like I'm awake, my system's ready for it. You get that, you're going to be sitting on the toilet for a little while afterwards. Um, but it's really good, and that's one thing that I really like. I try to like kind of deconstruct it. Is it's a really nice brioche bun, nice and that shiny glossy bun that's really nice and chewy, um, and you get good sausage, good cheese, good sauce, and then you also get the bacon, the maple bacon on top of it. It all just kind of comes together really nicely, but there's a lot of moving pieces. That's why it's like my third favorite of the things that I tried is there's almost like too much going on for breakfast, but I'd still put that over a lot of different things out there. I'd also say that my next one, the honey butter chicken biscuit, probably my second favorite, and I've gotten that. Oh, it's so good. You get the sweet, you get the savory. The biscuit is nice and fluffy, and it's all fresh. I should say as well. Also on the baconator is an egg. I forgot to mention that, and they fresh cracked their eggs. It's not like the microwavable, perfect circle things that are completely unnatural that you get from McDonald's. And the reason that I know that it's freshly cracked, I had a little bit of shell in my egg the day that I got it, and honestly, I bit into it. I was like, "What is that?" I pulled it out of my mouth. It's shell. I'm like, I'm not complaining because that's how I know it's a reasonably fresh egg. So I was all right with that. But anyway, honey butter chicken biscuit is the nice little piece of chicken on a biscuit is nice. The honey butter was really sweet, but compared with the chicken, it was like it was kind of complementary of each other. And I'd put that kind of up there with the Chick-fil-A chicken minis. Like it was almost like a bigger version of that. It's hard to say that it's better than that though. Like the chicken minis from Chick-fil-A are pretty good. And they're mini, they got the little chewy ciabatta bread or whatever, and then that's nice and sweetened too, and you got a little honey glaze over the bun there. So I'd say like it's kind of like a bigger version of that, and maybe slightly lower quality or not as well done. It's a little bit messy. I'm gonna be honest, it's messy. Chicken minis from Chick Fil A are nice and compact and easy to eat, but I'd say it's like right up there. And then the best thing that I had, aside from the like I've gone back just for the coffee before, but the maple bacon chicken croissant, and I had to think about all that. There's a lot going on there, but nice fluffy buttery croissant, um, and then the same chicken that's on the honey butter biscuit, and then and it's nice and perfectly round. It's seasoned well. It's just like Wendy's chicken. Wendy's has really good quality ingredients, and then the maple bacon. It's just it's perfectly sweet. It's salty. It kind of brings it all together, and I love it. And there's not an egg on that one, but it's just really good. Um, and yeah, I love it, and I'd say I'd go up against anything and just say that and that's the number one fast food breakfast out there for me, I without a doubt. Um, and I know that Chick-fil-A breakfast exists. I've had Chick-fil-A breakfast; it's really good. I'd say maybe the only thing that's competitive is the little chicken minis, and that's it. Like everything else, I'd put Wendy's up and above. It's that good. But one thing I want to point out, um, Wendy's. Have you ever noticed that Wendy's official name, official like legal name, is not Wendy's? It's quality is our recipe. If you look at the bag, if you look at the registered trademark, quality is our recipe, um, incorporated or whatever it is the name of the company. On the bottom of the bag and on the stickers and everything that you see on the cups and all that, you don't see like Wendy's Incorporated or Wendy's with the registered mark where you would see like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. Quality is our recipe is the legal name, and that's why if you look at any Wendy's restaurant, the sign out front will have Wendy's quality is our recipe on the sign. I looked it up and I was like, wait a minute. that makes so much sense why you would just see that everywhere. And so that I think it's just kind of it's it follows up with what I have seen with just me, but then also um, the breakfast experience was fantastic, and it was just all high quality stuff. And so I'm just gonna say like quality as a recipe is a spot on name. And so yeah, there's Tom's take. You know, Wendy's breakfast, give it a shot. I know I was kind of skeptical. I was like, well, it's just another fast food breakfast, but it's up there.
Yeah, that actually kind of shocked me when you said that because I'm the old school. Sorry, I switched screens on you guys a couple of times because I looked at the
Right.
bottom of the screen with our ticker and you guys couldn't see me for a second. Like, oh, that's not good. I got to switch over, so I'm on the side, so I had to fix that. Even when I blocked out the ticker, it still showed a blank screen. So sorry about that, guys. Learning a few technical things as we're going along with OBS and everything, so apologize there. But when you said Wendy's, I don't think I've ever had Wendy's breakfast. So when you said like, I'm like, hang on a second, have I had a Wendy's breakfast? I have not. Because my family was so big on the McDonald's side of things, so we always went. We
Mm-hmm.
got the hotcakes and sausage, or the sausage McGriddle,
Mm,
which I think
yes.
are very very well
Oof.
done. But when you said the what was that one the biscuit the honey biscuit
Honey
chicken,
butter chicken biscuit.
that one
Yeah.
sounds delicious. I may have to try
Oof.
that now. And I'm like, oh boy, doctor said I need to lower the cholesterol a little bit high on that. But I'm thinking that is worth the risk at this
Your
point.
doctor said you need to lower your cholesterol?
Yeah, it's at 104. It's a little high, but it's probably because I can't run anymore because the leg's all useless for running purposes. So I'm kind
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right.
of
But
so yeah.
yeah, give it a fair shake,
All
man.
right, yeah.
It's good. It's worth a couple of points on your cholesterol.
Yeah, so I may have to give that
But
one a
it's
try and bite the bullet on that one. Just do it once a week on
ah,
on the fast food stuff. So that may be the
there you
solution
go.
there.
And honestly, I mean, try those potato wedges. Try the
Yep.
potatoes too, because I don't know if you're potato wedge or seasoned
Yeah,
potato kind of
a
guy,
little bit.
or if you're just if you don't really like something like that. But I that was probably up there with one of the best things I had too. I would eat those all day, every day. I would eat those more than the Wendy's fries. They're that good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was shocked, man. That's why it took me almost a year to try it, because I was like, oh, it all just looks so like nasty and greasy, and we already can get nasty and greasy from every other fast food chain that's doing breakfast. So why would I do it? But then I don't know what made me want to do it. Maybe just to have another Tom's Take, segment content. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna go, and I think before work, I got a couple of things to try, and then I've gone back a couple of times since to try. I'm like, all right, Wendy's. And so that's why like I've actually just gone back for the coffee before. It's good. It's worth it for me anyway, because am just enough of a coffee liker, and more just like I like creamer with or
Ah,
I like coffee with my
you
creamer.
coffee with
I
your
like
creamer.
coffee with
Yep.
my creamer.
Yep.
That's what it is. Yeah. And there's it's like just enough of a coffee taste. It's there, but it's mostly like that
Yep.
vanilla frosty, chocolate frosty in there that you taste. And so it, that kind of did it for me.
All right, I like it. Interesting take. You may have convinced me to try a Wendy's breakfast, so that may be something to do on a Saturday. So probably this Saturday I might give it a whirl and give you my opinions on it afterwards, so that maybe I agree. Maybe I am partial to the sausage McGriddle at McDonald's. I do.
Mm,
It is a hard one
that's
to surpass. It is dang good.
That's true. It is, and
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about the McGriddles for a second. That's my favorite thing from McDonald's, but it's like everything inside the McGriddles that I don't like. I
That is
mean,
that's
the
the
the,
pass
the, the actual like cakes themselves are great, but
are
it's
on
like,
fire. The patty's like a little bit
oh
like
yeah,
the patty's like a little bit. You give me more meats
sure.
with my patty and less
The
rubber.
bacon is just a sad excuse.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
don't you might as well not even have it
No.
on there. But like, yeah, the actual like syrupy cakes, that's the star of the show for the McGriddle.
Absolutely. So that's with that being said, I think Tom did a great take. I think I may have to try it just to see how right he is, but it should be a good one. And we're gonna move on into our game of the week. As I alluded to, I was wrong picking the Raiders over the Chiefs because the picker is always wrong in this case, as we've determined, because we use some logic, and the logic always fails to backfire on us in our game of the week. So this game of the week, we have the Indianapolis Colts at 5-5 versus the Buffalo Bills at 6-3. The Bills, who lost to the Jaguars 9-6. I don't know how that happened. Then shellacked the Jets 45-17. So I don't know what Bills we're getting, but in this game. But the Colts have been playing good football recently, and I think since I lost, are we going with the whole like the loser now gets to defer or elect to receive or defer the pick? Is that how we're doing this now? Because we're just going with it, the picker's an idiot, or we want to go?
We can keep going with that. I mean, the picker has been an idiot the last few times, and so it's you were the
Picker last time.
You were the loser last time, so like it's your choice, man.
I'm going to double down. I'm going to try and break the streak. I'm going to try to be the streak breaker. I will elect to receive this pick, as they would say, and I'm going to stick with the Bills for this one. Yes, they're favorites by 6.5, which I think is too rich. If I was betting on this game, I would bet the Colts on the money line in this game. I think 6.5 is a bit rich. But the Bills scored 29.4 points per game on offense alone. No special teams, no defense, which is 4th in the NFL. Not surprising. They haven't put up more than 20 points in almost every single game they've played this season, outside of their first game against their first game of the season, then the game against Green Bay, and then obviously the Jacksonville game, which is an absolute dumpster fire game for them. Besides that point, their defense has been phenomenal, allowing only 14.8 points per game on defense, which is the best in the NFL, for a net point differential of 14.6, which means on average, if you don't include defense or special team scores, they're winning by 2 touchdowns. So if they don't do anything stupid, they win this game. But again, the Bills have known to do Bills things when you least expect it to. So I'm going to go with the Bills, and if they show up for a big game against the Colts and they maintain the momentum they had against the Jets.
Right, and I think that's going to be one of the key factors if they can keep that momentum, or if we get the inconsistent Bills that we've seen throughout the season thus far. It's kind of hit and miss. They're either all on or they're all off. Yep. And so, for me, obviously, I'm taking got to take the Colts here.
I love you with the Colts.
But I'm hoping for one of those off weeks. Colts currently score. They're averaging 27.2 points per game, which is still in the top 10 in the NFL. Yeah. It's the 7th best in the NFL, which is good. But they allow 23.7 points per game on defense, which is middle of the road. That's 16th in the NFL. So only a net point differential of 3.5. And so, I mean, looking at what the Bills currently score, it's well and above what the Colts have typically averaged allowing, while also, the Bills defense being much more locked down than the Colts. And so that's going to be really interesting to watch, to see if the Colts can overcome that. Honestly, I think what is going to be huge for the Colts in their favor is if that Bills offense is inconsistent. Yes. And is not at the high production rate that we have seen before. But we've seen some pretty low numbers out of Josh Allen and the Bills this year. And so I think that, especially in this case, that's what we're hoping for. I'm hoping for as in picking the Colts and everything. I think an inconsistent Bills offense will absolutely play in Colts' favor, but they've got to tighten up that defense if they really want to have a shot. I think it's possible. I don't think it's going to end up. It's going to be hold them to 14 points, sort of possible. But I think this is going to be, like you said, a lot closer than the line suggests. I think this is one that's decided by 3 to 6 points.
I think the only game the Bills have lost where they've scored more than 20 points was against the Titans, where they scored 31 points and their defense allowed 34 points. And that was the team that ran the ball first, passed the ball second, which is the Colts offense. It's a ground and pound with Jonathan Taylor, which means this could be a game where the Bills allow a lot of points, which is why I said 6.5 is a bit rich for my blood, because the Colts are the offense that is the antithesis of the Bill or the enemy of the Bills defense. The Bills defense can stop the pass, can't really stop the run. So if you want to stick to the ground game, you will get yards, and you'll get a bunch of those yards and probably get points off it because you're grounding and pounding. So the Bills' offense is going to be the key in this game, and it's whether or not they can and their defense can win first down. And the Bills defense cannot stop the ground game on first down. It will be a nail biter throughout the whole game. So I'm hoping the Bills offense shows up, but more importantly, that defense needs to stop the ground game, which I don't know they can do that.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting to watch. And so this one, if you got the time, watch it. And it's not two extremely exciting teams, just given the inconsistency that we've seen out of them. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than some folks suggest. So this is one that like I said, it's not going to be super exciting teams, or maybe it could be, but on paper anyway, it's not. But they are some teams that are going to be very close, and so this is going to be a very even matchup. Especially if certain things do happen, like we've talked about.
Absolutely. It should be a good game. We have the Bills, who are leading the AFC East, the Colts, who are second in the AFC South, trying to keep themselves in the playoff conversation. So these are two playoff teams, so it should be a good game. And this is one of those styles make fights games, and it could be a good game because the two styles oppose each other, so it could be real interesting. Mm-hmm. With that, we would like to remind you can follow our Facebook page for updates regarding the show. Also, you can email us at sportsandmore with CT, that's capital C, capital T, at gmail.com. If you have any questions or concerns about the show, or you want to just give us your top 5 game show hosts and tell me why Dale Tweedley is an actual game show host and not just some poser I made him out to be.
Fair enough. I want to hear more about that too. And if you got a different dude from Dude Perfect that you think is the best wheel unfortunate host, we're happy to tell you that you're wrong.
Absolutely.
You, in addition to going to our Anchor page or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or a host of other podcast listening websites, you can go to our YouTube channel to download and watch this episode. And any future episodes we create, we do have some prior content from the past, I think, 3 months. So absolutely go and check that out. Like, subscribe, comment, share, toggle that notification bell to on, and get that bell on. That way you get all the notifications as soon as this goes live. I think last week you weren't even aware that the video had gotten completely uploaded because you said it takes a while to actually get posted live to YouTube.
YouTube is a pain.
So I saw it up. I was like gonna watch a different YouTube. I think it was actually the new Dude Perfect last week, or maybe somewhere around there. And I saw I had texted you is it up? Is it ready? And I had already posted it on Facebook by the time you even knew it was there. So I mean, you're gonna even beat us to know when that video is out there. If you toggle that notification bell to all, you won't miss a thing. And I'm sure that if you follow us on Spotify or follow us on your podcast hosting site, that you could somehow get your notifications to let you know when you got a new episode from us too, because we're still going to put our stuff out on audio only to the podcast site. So it's still going to be there.
Absolutely. We don't want to forget about our podcasters who are during the workday cannot watch YouTube. So we're looking out for you guys who are trying to listen to something during work days.
And can I just say, can we get people 16 more?
Yeah.
We don't ask for a lot. Okay. We really don't. 16 more plays on the podcasts. I'm asking you to not watch the YouTube video for once. I want you to.
There's a lot of work that goes into this.
I'm asking you to listen to the podcast in addition to the YouTube video. Which, if you made it this far in the YouTube video, you're already watching it. Yeah. Which is why I can say that. But we are 16 away from 1,000 plays on our podcast sites all across the board. I think we had a big week last week. Yep. So we are ready to hit that 1,000 mark because, Chris, you've got a confetti cannon just collecting dust, waiting for it to happen.
It's hiding behind that screen right there, guys. I don't even want to look at the thing.
I see it. I see it.
I don't want to look at the thing until we hit that 1,000 likes, and I will make sure I record the celebration of a blowing up the cannon. I will have my brother record, and hopefully it's just fantastic, and I don't blow off an arm doing it, because you never know. With the Millers, we might do something wrong and cause our own bodily harm to ourselves. But
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, we'd like to thank all of you, probably the tens and tens of people listening to our ridiculous and ramblings on everything from why ties are stupid and how great the game show hosts are, especially those of the Steve Harvey, Alex Trabeck, and even the great Ned Forrester, the Golden Boy. Yeah,
the Golden Boy.
And Wendy's is great for breakfast. It's shocker to me. Thom may be onto something here, folks. So pay attention to those Thom sakes when they come around.
It was surprising to me. I'm just saying, give it a shot. I'm not going to be. You're going to be your own judge, but I'm just saying I wasn't disappointed. We would like to also just say that our next episode's creation date is to be decided. We're not sure with Thanksgiving coming up next week what we're going to have time for. We might have some time in the early half of the week to get some of that done, but just in case we don't upload something next week, we'll still try to get a game of the week to you, but we got the holidays and everything, and then the week after that, we've got our month-end accountant life kind of sucks in that regard. But keep an eye on Facebook. And I messed up. I didn't post anything today. I didn't post anything.
No heads up.
I'm going to post it now. It's still going to count. But keep an eye on Facebook, because in general, that's where we kind of post the majority of our updates and everything. We post all of our updates, but we post the majority of our notifications for when we're going to do something. If we're going to do it, it's on there. So, excuse me while I quick post something on Facebook. But until our next episode, if we don't get to you next week, have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat all that you can. Remember to spend time with the loved ones that you can spend time with, and appreciate that time. But until our next episode, please, as always, stay safe and healthy, and above all, stay free.
And remember, alligator does not have 3 letters in its name. Sports and More with Chris and Thom is brought to you by no one. All non-original thoughts and ideas were properly noted during each segment.